Hi Al, how's it going?
Hello again, Glenn. Thank you. We're good. We're good. What about you?
Okay, yeah, all good, yeah, exciting to have Battle for 10 joining us today. We've got a minute, so I'll give it 30 seconds, let everyone get in now, and then I'll start the record and introduce you, and we can go into the Battle for 10 project.
Of course, sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay, I'll start the recording now, introduce you, and we can go into the Battle for 10 project. Welcome to the WorldCoin Talk community. Today we have joining us Battle for 10. Here to speak about the project is L. So yeah, before we go into the huge game you're building for Battle for 10 and the token and everything else, can you give us an introduction to your background and experience?
Of course, it's actually our second time on the WhaleCoin Talk. This time around, not for Tem Wallet. This time around for the new P2E game that we're launching. And it's actually been 9 months, if I'm not mistaken, from last time we've been here. So basically, I'll start with the team. It's the same team, basically the IO10 team that worked on Tem Wallet and now launching our third project. And yeah, the team has expanded quite a bit. For the longest time, we've been 5 people in the team, but now we have 7, and also, of course, not counting the moderators and freelancers that we're using on consistent basis. Um, so yes, let me just start with introduction of the projects that we have started back, and of course the development is progressing on them. So basically, people know what we've worked for before this. Just a quick introduction. So basically, IO10 is layer 1 that we've built, and actually a lot of development has been done since the last time. We already released the testnet for it, and it is fully running with dedicated Explorer, dedicated faucet, and 1.5K TPS, and we're just working on increasing it before the mainnet. And that is our very initial first project, still under development. And also briefly about Tem Wallet, which we were here for the last time, actually we released a protocol for that, the Mixer protocol, which is government compatible. It had some changes in it, so now we made it so that uh, the logs are taken at the time of withdrawal. So basically, there's a deposit and there's withdrawal, and the way it's government compatible, it's because we're taking the logs in case in the future. Basically, we would need them for the government if they come to us on a basis on the right claims. With the right claims, we do have those logs. So that's the difference from something like Tornado Cash. Yeah. So right now we are. I just want to start with the Battle for 10, which is a P2E game that we have been working on for the past 5-6 months now. And basically, you need. Basically, we have 5 champions and 3 levels. Each champion has 3 levels. You need to acquire the champions, the NFTs, to play the game. There are 2 types you have 2 options of acquiring. There is direct acquiring, acquiring the champion you want, or you can use the chest via the Chainlink VRF and basically get a random drop. So that's how you start the game. And then the idea of the game, it's just turn-based combat. So basically, you need to win 5 games in a day to get your daily rewards of PFT tokens. And at that, when you get your rewards, it's basically capped at that amount. So it's also dependent on the level of the champion that you have. So if you have a level 1 champion, you can get a certain number of BFT tokens per day. You cannot get any higher than that. And it's same structure for level 2 and level 3 as well. So that's the overall concept of the game. And yeah, if you have any questions up to this point, would be happy to answer.
Okay, yeah. So you just need the NFTs to play the game. I'm wondering what cost it is to mint the NFTs, the number being minted, and the rarities attached to them.
Yeah, great question. So basically, we have 3 levels, and the costs are very similar. I'll tell so that people have an understanding. It's very similar to. It's basically on the launch price. It's basically level 1 champion would be just around 1 BNB, but of course paid in BFT tokens. And level 2 is 4 BNB, and level 3 is 10 BNB. So that is calculated with the launch price. So after the launch price, the prices might increase, but we will always do the checks and adjusting. And of course, you can see on our website, if you go to our website, you can see a calculator to calculate the ROI and your monthly ROI. And that does not include, for example, the equilibrium system that we have in place for the long-term, basically, consistency of the rewards. And yeah, so we have that system to have for the longevity of the game, basically. And you can basically see how much ROI you'll be getting uh, from specific investment amounts. And yeah, basically that's all I want to say about this.
Okay, great. I was wondering which game engine you're using to build the game and the
Right,
battle
right.
and gameplay. If we can go into some of the gameplay of it for community investors, that'd be great.
Of course, great question actually. So we're using Unity, Unity WebGL. So it is a web game, and so far it's only available on web. After launch, we'll be working on the iOS and Android. But so far it's only the web version. The web version is available for playing, and it's basically a turn-based combat where you choose where to attack and where to defend, and the other player chooses where to attack and where to defend as well. And then the calculations happen. Of course, there's some depths which comes in with the abilities that you can choose depending on the champion type that you have, and also the equipment that you can choose accordingly. So you need to strategize before the game, but the game itself is pretty straightforward. It's basically choosing where to attack and where to defend. So you have like 5 options, like attacking to head, for example, torso or legs, and you have 5 options to defend. And there are some systems in place like evasion chance that some champions, for example, we have 5 types of different champions, and each type is different. For example, we have evaders, we have tanks, we have assassins. Just to give a few examples, assassins would have high chance of critting, so critical striking, and evaders would have high chance of evasion. So let's say you blocked attack. Let's say the opponent attacked you and you blocked attack. And what happens then is that, well, you don't take any damage. But let's say you didn't block the attack. Then there is a specific evasion chance for each champion. For example, we have mages, which has the lowest evasion chance, and we have evaders, which have very high. So basically, after blocking, it's just a calculation is being done on the back end to basically it's a second block. You can think about it as second block. So so each champion is actually completely different, and yeah. So that's basically the
Great.
gameplay.
And you've got items in the game. Can you win them from PvP mode or P2E mode? How does it work, or do you have to mint some of the items?
Yeah, the items in the game are actually in-game items. They are not NFTs. We do have PvE and PvP. So in PvP, basically you're playing to win the BFT tokens. You get your 5 wins of the day, and you're done with winning the PvP. And when it comes to the PvE, you can play in PvE versus, for example, at the moment we have our monster, basically our opponent. Everyone's opponent is a dragon, and you can play against him, win the games, and basically farm dragon eggs. That is the in-game currency. It's not a token like BFT, so it's in-game currency. And you for each win, you get a specific amount of Dragon Eggs, and then you use those Dragon Eggs to purchase abilities and purchase equipment.
Yeah, I see. And with the game, if you win 4 out of 5, is there only 5 maximum matches you can play a day, or is it 7 or 8 or 10, or can you buy extra time to try and win them 5 matches where you'd win the tokens?
Yeah, so great question again, because you can only so you can win any number of games in a day, because we do have a leaderboard, and basically the higher up you go in the leaderboard, there is a specific thing for that I'll mention in a bit. But just for BFT tokens, if you want to get your BFT tokens and get out, so basically that would be just winning 5 games in a day, not consecutive games. It's fine if it's just any 5 wins or any 5 wins a day. So that's how you acquire BFT. And we have the leaderboarding game, like I said, and that specific leaderboard is actually for the grand champions, for the grand championships. We'll be having grand championships every couple of months. It's actually, like the name suggests, it's our biggest basically tournament, and that would be for the top players in the leaderboard. So top players in the leaderboard. So for every win, of course, for every win you get some points. For every loss you lose some points, and we have specific tires in the game. Not the champion tires, of course. We have just 3 levels, but tires of basically leagues. So for example, diamond. We have like bronze. You start in bronze, then you get into silver, gold, diamond. And the higher up you go, the higher up your chances of getting into the top of the leaderboard and getting the chance to participate in the grand tournaments. And in the grand tournaments, for example, we have grand prizes such as Tesla Model 3 for the first place. That would be the first place's prize, combined with the BFT rewards. And also, for example, for the second place, we have MacBook and BFT rewards, and for the third place, iPhone and BFT rewards, and that goes on for the basically the next 7 places. The top 10 are the ones that are getting the reward, and the next 7 places will be getting the BFT rewards and BUSD rewards. So all that information is in our documentation, in our white paper, so that can be checked. And yeah, so that's the concept of basically for people who want to actually play the game and actually get to the top of the leaderboard. And so we are just having two options for playing the game. You either get your NFTs, play the game, and basically only are looking for playing the game to get the BFT rewards and for your basically getting the ROI, or you can go for the long term. And basically in the long term, in a month or 2 months, if you get to the top of the leaderboard, you get the chance to play in the grand tournaments and get the chance to win the grand prize.
Okay, I see. And is there can the token be used inside the game? Is there any burn back sort of mechanisms built into the game for the token?
Of course, token can be used. So in the game itself, everything is purchased with the in-game token. So basically, only thing that you're using the BFT token for is either purchasing the champion itself to play the game, or basically using our chest, which uses the Chainlink VRF, so to basically mint a random champion. So that's where you're using the BFT tokens to get into the game. And after you got into the game, basically everything is done. So those tokens, the BFT tokens, are basically gone. So you purchase the champion and they're gone, and then you're playing the game to earn the BFT tokens from the game. And then you just when you want to withdraw those tokens, you just basically click on the BFT, sign in the game, and then you can withdraw those tokens to your wallet whenever you want. Of course, just something I wanted to mention here. Yeah.
Oh, go on. Go ahead.
Thank you. Actually, there's something I want to mention here, which is I mentioned before the equilibrium system. It's basically for the longevity of the game, and it's actually changing tax structure inside of the game, because we have only 5% tax on the token, so it's very low tax. But in the game itself, because the rewards are like extremely high. If you just look at the calculator, you will see extremely high percentages. So basically, we have an in-game equilibrium system, so that whenever from the game, we know how much tokens are getting withdrawn in a day. So basically, if if a huge amount gets withdrawn from the game in a single day, then after that, the equilibrium system will increase the tax, in-game tax. So basically, the tax will range from just about 10 to 20%. So basically, the tax changes depending on the amount of BFT tokens that are getting withdrawn from inside the game to basically make because the problem of the P2E games is actually the problem is they die off very soon because you're giving out extreme amount of tokens basically, and when people are earning extreme amount of tokens, the early comers are basically the winners, and then later on it just dies off. But we don't want our game to basically have the structure. So of course we're always going for the long term, like we did with the IO10. We've already been in the market for a year, and it's still going. The development is still going. We want the Battle for 10 to be like our other projects as well, to have a basically long life. So that's why we have this system in place. Yeah. So that's
and is it an ecosystem you're building with the other projects as well, or are they running separately?
No, actually, at the moment, it is running completely separately. But the thing is, the BFT token is on Binance chain at the moment. So in the future, we will be migrating it and also the TEN wallet as well to the IO10 chain, because we are planning to have our basically IO10 network, which is a layer 1, to have all our projects sit on our own chain.
That sounds super cool. And with the profits from the NFTs and the game, are you planning to do buyback and burns, using it for marketing for the game and the token in the future? What happens with the profits?
Yeah, definitely. We are looking for basically for the buybacks, and of course we're looking for we have the burns as well. Actually, the tokens. So let me start with this: that the tokens that we are basically getting from the champions, it's actually getting burned. It's getting burned completely. So once someone basically purchases a champion and gives us the tokens, those tokens are completely burned, and we'll have manual buyback for manual basically burn for that. So we'll set up a time, and then we'll do a manual burn. We don't have in our contract. Our contract is just 5%. It's a very simple contract at the moment that we have. It's basically as simple as possible without any bugs or any inefficiencies. So we just made it to be super clean. So basically, it's just the transactional tax, and that's it. And we'll be focusing on the manual burn, on the burn side. And of course, there will be buybacks as well. We are aiming to have quarterly buybacks like we have on basically IO10. And the same thing can be said for 10 wallet as well. The buybacks are also planned, although for the 10 wallet, we have not fully started as we have on IO10, because on IO10, we have it on at the end of every single quarter. So yeah, basically those are the plans at the moment.
I see. And are you sharing the same Telegram for the two games, or are they in separate sort of Telegrams? How does it work?
No, actually, the thing is, the 10 wallet was. Are you talking about the 10 wallet and Battle for 10, or what?
Yeah, if they're going to share like Battle for 10 and the IO 10 are going to share the same Telegram, or?
Yeah, so actually we're not sharing the same Telegram. Actually, every single project has its own Telegram and has its own Twitter account, because like IO10 is a layer 1. It's completely different because it's a layer 1 blockchain, and Town Wallet is a privacy protocol which is integrated into a wallet. So these three, so first two projects are fully focused on privacy, and actually they are a completely different type of project than the P2E. Hence, the things with the P2E for Battle for 10 was pretty hard for the team because of the game itself, but we worked very hard to basically to deliver something of value. But of course, the smart contract part, the chain link integration, everything else was pretty straightforward for us. So the hardest part for us was actually getting a game that we ourselves as a team would enjoy playing as well. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense to have it separate telegrams with the different projects. And going back to the game, you've got the BFT multiplayer betting system. So I'm wondering how many
Yeah.
players can get involved with that. You can actually challenge people. How's that going to work?
Yeah, you actually challenge people after you have some BFT. After you earn some BFT, basically you can challenge other players to a game to win to basically have a pool in the middle of both players' BFTs, and the winner basically takes the BFT tokens. And yeah, you can just withdraw them after winning them if you'd like to your wallet.
Okay, cool. And you've
Yeah.
had a private sale that sold out. I was wondering if there's a vesting period on the private sale, and then your next phase is pre-sale one. How can investors get involved there as the whitelist spots to win for the pre-sale one next phase?
Yeah, definitely. So private sale, yes, indeed it was sold out. Actually, it took a bit of time, about a week. Actually, we took a bit more than on Ten Wallet, but that's due to the market conditions. I would say still, we raised about 100 BNB in the private sale, and the next step actually is way different from our other projects, because we are looking for a multi-pad sale, for the multi-pad public sale. So basically, we'll be having a pink sale for the first pre-sale. Then we'll be having 3 private launch pads, very low hard cap, just around 50-75,000 BUSD. All of those launch pads have safeguard system, so they are basically guaranteeing, and the contract basically every raise is guaranteed for our project. And at the last one, there is one more. For the last one, we'll be having a Gempad sale on the Gempad basically. So the initial one will be on pink sale. That will be starting on 15th of November, and you can get the whitelists from some call groups that we're using. So of course some AMAs we for example from Whalecoin Talk, we have provided some whitelists, and of course for your community, and of course there is a Swift widget that we have. So basically top 150 participants in the Swift widget will get a whitelist, a guaranteed whitelist spot for the pre-sale on the 15th of November.
Okay, great, El. And what's the sort of timeline for the full game release after launching the token?
Yeah, so basically the beta game is actually fully released right now. It's beta in Word, but it is actually fully playable. And the only thing that we did not turn on at the moment is the Web3 part, Web3 integration part, which is basically for taking out, for logging in with the champion and then taking out the tokens. Because we want everyone to test the game right now and see how it plays, how it feels. And then we'll integrate that part, and also a few other things like tournaments as well, which will be basically integrated soon after the launch. And actually, I just want to just talk briefly about the launch, which is because we'll be having this 5 public sale structure. The launch is not expected to be too late. Basically, we're expected to launch on 25th of November. So the first pre-sale starts on 15th of November, and basically the launch will be on 25th. So just 10 days apart. So it's not going to take like months or 2 months or something. It's not going to take too much time. Yeah.
Okay, great, El. And have you had a smart contract audit on Battle for 10, or is that coming closer to launch?
Of course, we had it even for private. It is audited by SolidProof, and we also, of course, have KYC as well with PinkSale that is ready as well. So yeah, both of those things are, of course, ready already.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So.
And what's the marketing plans after you launch? What you planning to say on the first quarter to promote the game and promote the token after launch?
Yeah. So after launch, we're looking. We're looking for basically using the banner ads, and on the like using, for example, the Coinzilla for the banner ads, which we'll be starting to use in a few days. Actually, it will be an ongoing campaign. And also we have hired a team for the Chinese marketing, which will start in about 2 days, and that would also be ongoing for after the launch as well. Also, some other things would be like we already have PR, but we'll be doing some things like AMA after launch. We have already talked with Binance, like Binance Live AMA, and we'll be having that as well, which would be actually published way earlier on our Twitter. So in a couple of days, we're actually thinking of publishing that so everyone knows what is up and coming for after the launch. I just want to briefly talk about actually for the pre-launch marketing as well, because I've not touched this topic. Because for the pre-launch, we actually have the Chinese market. We have a dedicated team working on that. We'll be looking into the Turkish market. We have some call groups, and we have AMAs coming up with Golems, with CryptoCat. We have AMA with Venom also coming up. We can everyone can see the roadmap on our Twitter, the roadmap for the AMAs. We have internal AMAs, and of course, for the call groups, we'll be using basically most of the top call groups for our public sale, like DeFi Ape Talk, DeFi Ape Talk, CryptoCat, again, like God. So Tazar actually was in our private sale together with Venom. They went into our BFT private sale, so probably those as well. And yeah, banner ads again, and so that's basically the marketing plan.
Okay, awesome. Let's open it up to community investor questions. Let's see. Syed, you had a question for Al at Battle for 10. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn. Okay, quick question. So you mentioned about this equilibrium system. So I was wondering, is this system which the system which adjusts taxes, is it automatic? It is does it adjust the taxes automatically or it's controlled manually?
So we'll have an automatic system and also a manual system as well. So because it will be adjusted from inside the game, it's not a smart contract tax. So basically, it's only will be working inside the game for, and it's of course it will be kept at 20%, but yeah, it will be inside the game and it will be done automatically
Okay, understood. Thank you so
for the
much
main
for
part.
explaining. Over to you, Glenn.
Thank you as well
Question,
for the
Syed.
question.
Let's move to Aisha. You had a question for Al at Battle for 10. Go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. So it's mentioned on white paper that battles for 10 will be on chain, giving players more security, that the game servers won't be exploited or hacked. I want to know, have you deployed your game on decentralized servers such as IPFS, and how many maximum number of players can your server handle?
So yeah, great question. So basically, we're using it is not on the decentralized server. It is actually basically we're using the Cloudflare for the DDoS attacks, and this is the same thing that we're also using on for our protocol on Tenwallet as well. And our game at the moment can handle just about 10,000 players, but of course that can be increased basically by increasing the server size.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank you
answering.
as well. Thank you as well.
Question, Aisha. Let's move to Western Beast. You had a question for Al at Battle for 10. Go ahead.
Hi, yo. Great project. I
Hello.
wanted to ask you about your grand tournament. You said that it's going to happen in the first quarter of 2023, and those are some
I
really
do
large prizes.
apologize. Sorry, I do apologize. I seem like I cannot hear you well. Perhaps can.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now. Thank you.
Okay. So, I was actually talking about the grand tournament that you said is going to be
Yes.
held. Um, how are you going to be able to attain? Those are some very, very serious prizes. Would you be attaining it from the original gameplay? And in the event that, is there anything that could cause a possible reschedule?
So are you? I do apologize. Still, I was not fully able to get the question. Are you? The question is about rescheduling
Yeah,
it, or?
Who was asking how the grand tournament's going to work? I think so. Will there be like a round one and then a quarter-final, semi-final? How does it
Yes.
play out?
Yeah, exactly. We'll have quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, and basically in the finals. So it's not just going to be from like 10 players from the leaderboard. We'll be having like a top 100 players from the leaderboard be participating. Will basically be getting a chance to participate in the grand tournament. And then if everyone participates, we'll have 100 players, and basically the structure will be just three games, and the winner of 2 games will go on to the next round, and then it just kind of follows up till the semifinals and finals, and we'll have our top 10 players that way.
Okay, I see it. Let's just take one more question. Venice, you had a question for Ella at Battle for 10. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Glenn. I have a question related to gameplay. As I read that
Yeah.
players can choose three abilities before a battle. So will a player get to know about the powers or abilities of the upcoming enemy in PvP mode, or even if they are fighting with environments, so that they can choose the abilities accordingly, according to the enemy they are facing in the game?
Great question actually. So here's how it will be in the PvP, because we have in the PvP it will be different from the grand tournament. So in PvP you actually cannot see your opponent's abilities. You can see his items, but not the abilities. When it comes to grand tournaments, you'll be able to see your opponent and basically what he's choosing. So one time, so for example, for one round, if you're both winning for one round, you'll be able to see your opponent's. You'll set your equipment and your abilities, and the other opponent can see yours. And then if you both win or basically progress the round, for the next one, if you set it first the first time, then you'll be choosing according to your opponent the second time. So just to be fair, basically. But when it comes to the PvP part, the one that you're just playing to basically get the points to increase your place in the leaderboard and get the BFT tokens. It's a random game. You cannot see who you're playing against before the game starts, and you cannot see their abilities or equipment before the game. And you can see their equipment in the game.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Thank you so much for answering my question.
Thank you as well. Thank you as well for a great question.
Thank you everyone for the questions. Unfortunately, we're out of time today, but it's been great speaking to all from Battle for 10. The game looks awesome. Any questions or want to get safely over to the official socials there in our main chat. As we always say, we're pointing up for research and educational purposes. It's not final. Yeah, check out the website, the white paper, the official socials. That's what we recommend to community investors. If you like what you see, go and have a chat with the team and community, and yeah, and you might be able to win a whitelist spot the pre-sale. Thank you very much for coming today, Al.
Thank you as well. Have a good day.
Take care. Yeah, I'll finish the recording. Send over a copy for you to share with your community. I'll send that into the main chat for anyone who couldn't join the call.
Great. Sounds great. Thank you. We'll be sharing.